Mr. Smestad, do you have a witness?
So we're still in day 6, and the courtroom and jury has just come back from lunch. And the next 2 witnesses are deputies who have already been called by the prosecution. I believe they testified on day 4, if I'm not mistaken. But the prosecution called them back in simply to discredit the previous 2 defense witnesses, Ernesto and Ariel. Apparently, Anderson is still really upset because Ernesto either lied or just didn't remember his statement to the police. And considering no one in this case on either side has any memory of what they told the police, I really don't think it matters. But we're going to watch the body cam footage anyway.
Ernesto, do you have any ID or anything on you?
Yeah,
8111, 8816, I'll head over there.
this is my...
Is it in your cooler?
8111.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Go ahead.
No, my ID.
We're probably out of people, but if you do have any other investigative resources to assist
Okay.
over here at the incident location, we have a lot of witnesses here also.
Okay.
10-4, 22 has checked on, and dispatch, can you send a TCY to Polk County? They have 2 investigators that are...
Can I see her ID too?
Who?
Is it your wife?
No, this is my wife, that one.
Whose ID is that one?
My sister?
Is that her right here?
Yeah.
That's hers. All right.
Okay, my wife have over there.
Not violent, but yelling.
All right, I'll talk to you over here.
Northwest, but they need to not be first. 8222 dispatch, 1041, or all Somerset.
All right. Can you kind of tell me what's going on today?
So we was outside, you know, in the corner of the river.
All right.
So he's looking for our friend look at the phone. You know what I mean?
8100,
And he's all away by the group.
Who did?
What?
Who drove? Who went by the group?
No, the guy you take it.
Yep.
He's looking by the phone in the river because we stand here in the corner by the group of the people.
All right.
And I saw he there looking for the phone, and he was said he's in trouble. What am I in trouble? I saw people attack him.
People to stay in their homes.
You know, a bunch of people attack him, and then I don't know what's going on.
Negative. You can cancel the rave.
I go in the middle of the river. Hey, come on this way, come on this way, and right away the problem. He said that somebody take his knife in his pocket.
Right.
He got a knife for carry the thing in the river.
Cancel the rave. Cancel
And
Minnesota helicopter.
I don't know anything.
Washington County units may return to Minnesota.
I came in, get out there. But one people have a problem here, one over here, he was here. I saw one lady coming from here
and being transported.
with black,
We still have
All right.
806
and
here on
he
scene.
was here. He said, they taking my knife. That's what he said. And they punched it, he was in the floor,
All right.
in the water. And when I close it, not too close, on the middle of the river, he said, get out of there because we don't know what's going on. And he ran this way. And he said, they're taking my knife. That's it.
So you never saw him with the knife?
No, never.
No. Did you see anyone with the knife?
No.
No.
No, because that's what I say. There's somebody here with blood, somebody here with blood.
You just saw a bunch of people with blood?
Yeah.
All right. So
I don't know what's going on.
All right.
They punching him. He told me they're taking my knife.
So people were punching him. Where were they punching him?
It was like right here, outside by the rock.
Yep.
By the rock, they punch it.
Yep. Where were they
Put in the
punching?
water.
Where were they punching him on his body?
He punching, I don't know, in the face or here. They punching down. And when he get out, that's when I tell him, get out there, because I don't know. I'm in the middle of the river. And he goes, hey, get out there because I don't know what's going on. And when he coming around to us, he said, they taking my knife. And later we find out what's going on.
All right. So did you see anyone get stabbed or anything like that?
No, because that's what I say. They say they taking my knife. I saw some people here with blood. And one lady in the middle of the river with the blood too.
What does knife look like?
This is a little nice, like a
Is it like a pocket knife? It folds
yeah,
out?
yeah, like a pocket
A
knife.
foldable one?
Exactly.
Sir, is that your cooler there?
Yes,
You mind if we look in it?
you can get it.
Thank you.
That's so weird because we never have problem. Never. He's this guy. No, we always no problem, nothing. But a bunch of
How do you
people-
know him?
Oh, he's working with me
88,
for
21.
He
10,
works.
20 years.
He works for you?
Yeah, we work together and we friends for many years. We never have any problem.
I have all of his information.
And
Do you
that's
need anything
weird.
else on this one?
He said,
So you might be wondering, well, what's the big deal here? What does this prove? Well, Ernesto is claiming in the video that Mew told him, "They taken my knife." But in Ernesto's testimony, he claimed to not remember saying that, even though he said it repeatedly. Does that discredit him and make him a liar? I don't know, maybe. Does it make him any worse of a liar than everyone else involved in this case? I don't think so. So I guess I'm just supposed to dismiss all the conflicting stories on the other side of this case and only concentrate on Ernesto's lies and Ariel's lies. Yeah, I don't think so. I'd rather just use the video, thank you very much. And then they brought back in this other deputy. And from what I gathered here, his testimony is meant to discredit Ariel for being so close to the action, but not actually seeing any of the stabbings. So once again, we're only worried about the selective memory on one side of the argument, not both. And apparently this was the prosecution's entire day that they had planned, because they've run completely out of witnesses at this point. So to pick up the slack a little bit, the court decided to let the defense take over and start calling witnesses again, at least to close out the day.
Who is the next witness?
Judge, I think defense had a couple people to call.
Okay.
So the first witness the defense calls is investigator Andrew Dittman, and they have him testify about the conflicting statements from all the people involved and how the teenagers never mentioned to the police that Mew said anything about looking for little girls. And I think we all know why that is. Because those teenagers knew what they were doing when they said that. And they went over all the conflicting statements about whether or not the blonde girl got punched or slapped or whatever happened to her afterwards and blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, it's just someone testifying about other people's statements. And we've already heard all this testimony before. But Chiaroffici did get investigator Dittman to admit that none of the stabbings occurred until Mew was hit in the face repeatedly.
Who's the next witness?
Roberto Baldoza?
And then they called the guy who lost his knife, the one who's married to that really annoying nurse. So I hate to say it, but both of these first two witnesses called by the defense were a waste of time. In this one, they asked Mr. Baldazzo when he lost his knife, why he pulled his knife out, when he pulled his knife out, whether or not he felt threatened, and just more blah, blah, blah. It didn't help anything for me for either side, but if it helped anyone, it helped the prosecution more than it helped the defense. As far as I'm concerned, it was completely irrelevant, so we're skipping over it. So now that I've explained why I've skipped all this testimony, there is actually one more defense witness, and this one is actually worth listening to. It's Ernesto's wife, Amanda, but her testimony is pretty brief. So let's give it a listen.
Please have a seat in the witness chair. Mr. Nelson.
You're Amanda Torres?
Yes,
Is your husband Ernesto?
yes,
Do you know this man here to my right?
yes.
Who's that?
That's Nick Mew.
And how do you know Nick?
I've known him for almost 20 years.
How did you get to know him through those 20 years?
Work.
Did you ever socialize with him outside of work?
Yes. Probably the past 5, 6, 7 years.
Okay. You've been to his house?
Yep.
He's been to your house? You just need to say yes or no
Yes.
verbally, or as opposed to just shaking your, or nodding your head. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Does-
Yes.
Okay. I want to ask you some questions about Mr. Mew's character, okay? Do you feel like you know his character?
Yes.
Does he have a character for peacefulness?
Yes. Yeah.
I want to now switch a little bit and ask you in general about July 30th of 2022, okay?
Okay.
Were you on the river that day with your husband and Nick's wife
Yes.
and other friends?
Yes.
During that time, did you see people within your group drinking alcohol?
They had a few.
Did you observe anyone that was intoxicated?
No.
Did you have any concerns about anybody's level of intoxication? How about Nick in particular?
No.
I want to ask you about a knife, okay?
Yes.
Have you seen Nick carry a pocket knife before?
Yes.
Have you seen him use that pocket knife before?
Yes.
How, can you just describe in what context or where you've seen him use that pocket knife?
He always seems to have one, like at our house with the pool, help setting up the pool and things like that, and that's about it, all I've really seen.
Have you seen him use it as a tool to fix things?
Yeah, yes,
Have you seen him use it as a sharp item to cut rope or other matters?
yes.
Okay. On that day, did you see Nick with a knife?
I believe I did, but at the beginning.
On that day, did you see Nick use the knife to cut some rope?
Yes, I think I did, yes.
Okay. At some point on that day, did you become aware that someone in your group had lost a phone?
Yes.
Whose phone was lost?
Ariel.
Up until that point, can you just describe Mr. Mew's demeanor, your observations of him that day?
He was happy, everybody was relaxed, he was relaxed, just having a good time, just relaxing on the river.
Same character you've seen of the 20 years over that you've known him?
Yes.
When Ariel lost his phone, did you see, I don't want to know the contents, but was there discussion about what to do?
I didn't really hear much of that conversation, I just knew that he lost it, and Nick said, I'll go find it, I can go find it. I know Ariel said, don't worry about it.
Okay. Did you see Nick leave to go, in what you thought was him going to look for the phone?
Yes.
At the time that he left, what was he wearing?
What was he wearing?
What's that?
Shorts?
Had you seen him wearing other items earlier in the day?
A shirt and a hat, I think.
Had you seen him snorkeling earlier in the
Yes.
day? When you saw him snorkeling earlier in the day, did he wear his hat and sunglasses?
No.
Did he wear his shirt?
No. He put it back on when he came back.
And we'll get to that in a second. When you saw him leave to go look for the phone, did he have his snorkel and goggle with him?
I didn't notice that.
My understanding is, just to cut to the chase here, that you didn't observe anything going down, happening downriver between Nick and any other group of people. Would you
No.
agree?
Yes.
The first you learned about it is you heard somebody say something, right?
Yes.
What did you hear?
Sandy said, Nick's in trouble. Nick's in trouble. Go help him.
And when you heard that, did you see people in your group leave?
I think it was Ernesto and Ariel. I think that was the only two people I saw.
Once you heard that, though, you still weren't able to, for whatever reason, you either didn't look or you couldn't see what was going on down there.
I couldn't from where I was sitting, and the tubes were, whoops, sorry, in front of me, and I couldn't really see over it. I had to get up, like stand up.
And I see you're wearing glasses today.
Yeah.
Were you wearing glasses when you were going down?
Sunglasses.
Okay. Prescription sunglasses?
Yes.
Okay. So your vision wasn't impaired from lack of glasses?
No.
It was more just your positioning where you were at?
Yes.
And I understand at some point after this, you saw Nick come back to your group. Is that right?
Yeah, I didn't see him walk up. I just was standing, just watching the crowd, and then he just appeared on my right side.
Okay. And now I'm going to ask you some questions, but I don't want the content of the words, okay? So I'm going to ask you about, did you ask Nick what happened?
I looked at him and I said,
Did you ask Nick what happened, yes or no?
yes.
And you can't tell me the words, but did Nick tell you an answer to that question?
Yes.
He gave you an answer?
Yeah, a few words.
Okay. Now I want to ask you about what you saw of him, okay? When you were having that conversation with him, you're standing right in front of him? Again, you just need to give a verbal answer,
Yes.
ma'am. Okay. And when you've seen him for 20 years, right?
Yes.
In that time, I think you spoke with the police before, but when you're sitting there on the river or standing there on the river talking to him, how did he appear?
Well, in shock.
What's that?
In shock. Just
And-
stunned and like frozen.
Okay. Have you seen him in that state before?
No.
I think you'd previously used words like ghostly white or pale.
Yes.
Would those accurately describe what you saw him that day?
Yeah, yes.
I think you'd said he had a ghost look on his face.
Yes.
Is that what you saw?
Yes.
And then you concluded, based upon your knowing him for as long as you had, that he appeared to be in shock.
Yes.
Not like shock as in surprise, but shock like as in a physiological, psychological condition.
Yeah.
Obviously not from a medical term, but just a click-wheel person term, right?
Yes.
That's all.
Mr. Anderson, any questions?
Yes. So, you told law enforcement Nick wasn't drinking much that day,
No.
right? No, you didn't say that, or yes, you did say that?
I believe I said that.
Yeah. You said he was dumping out his beers and putting water in them?
Oh, he does that, like, when we have get-togethers.
Okay. He wasn't on that day?
No. Not that I know.
So as far as you know, there's no reason Nick would say, I was drinking a lot?
No.
So did you see injured people?
I did not. I saw the young boy on the side. I didn't know what his injuries were.
You saw he was getting CPR?
Yes.
And did you see someone else on the shore being aided?
No.
You didn't hear anyone crying for help or anything like that?
I did not. It was really loud. There was screaming and people running. But no, I didn't see anybody else injured.
Do you speak Spanish?
No.
So Nikolai was in shock, and you determined that because his face was pale and what, not speaking?
Yeah, he just said a very brief few words and just stood there just kind of like in shock.
Okay. Was he stiff or rigid or like his body?
I would say kind of stiff.
He wasn't like relaxed at all or anything?
No.
So was he like that the whole time you were with him until he was taken into custody?
Yes.
So stiff, rigid, not talking, white face, anything else?
No.
He has something like hammer in his hand.
Just take a picture and save it.
I don't take a picture, take a video.
You pause.
Take a video.
He looks pretty nonchalant, relaxed in that video, agreed?
Yeah.
And that was after you had left the incident location, right?
Yes.
He doesn't look stiff.
Not that I can see, no.
He's leaning
See
back
his
in
face.
he's leaning back in his tube and paddling along with his hand.
Yeah.
Camera recording started.
Still doing all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's going
Temperature?
on?
Temperature's okay in here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody,
All
I
right.
hear somebody got stabbed,
Um,
and I fit the description.
yes, you do.
All right.
Yep. So we're working through that now.
Agreed, he doesn't look pale or ghostly white there?
No.
He doesn't sound distressed, agreed?
He sounds a little distressed.
He does?
I think so.
Okay. Why? What about it sounds distressed?
Just the way he's talking. I mean, it's not, he's more energetic, more, not just kind of sitting there.
Could also be because he's nervous because of what just happened and,
Yes.
okay. And do you know if you don't know if him being quiet was because he was afraid he was going to get arrested or because he was in shock, right?
Yeah.
You do know?
No, I don't know. Say that again?
You don't know if he was quiet and different than how he normally is because he thought he was going to get arrested or because he was in shock?
I think in shock.
You think, but you don't know, right?
Well, no, I don't know.
Nothing else.
Mr. Nelson?
You came here to tell the jury about your observations of a man you know, correct?
Yes.
And the observations that you told the jury, were those accurate?
Yes.
Is that what you saw?
Yes.
Then you were asked some questions about a video. Was that at a different time than what you told the jury about what you saw?
The video I just saw?
Yeah, I think there's 3 moments in time you were asked about. I asked you about what did Mr. Mew look like right when he came back to the tube?
Yeah.
Agreed?
Yes.
And then you were shown a video about another moment in time that's
Yeah.
later, correct?
Later, yeah.
You agree that's about an hour later?
Objection, Judge. These are all leading. This is his witness.
Sustained.
Do you know what time that video is taken in relation to when you made your observation of him in shock?
The second,
The video where he was sitting in the tube, do you know when that was in time in relation to when you saw him with a white face and pale?
maybe 20 minutes, I'm just guessing.
Okay. Did you, when he came back to the tubes, did the group wait at the tubes or did they leave right away?
No, we waited.
Do you know how long the group waited?
It seemed like a very long time, but it's probably maybe 20, 25 minutes.
Okay. And do you know when that video was taken right away when you guys started going back down? Or was it near the exit? Or was it some other time? Do you know when that video is?
I think towards the exit.
Okay. Do you know how long the trip was from when you left the sandbar after the 20, 25 minutes that you stayed there until you got to the exit?
Is it like 45 minutes, I think?
Okay. So would you, I'm just trying to get us to the math here. Sounds like it's about an hour after when you had the conversation with him where you were talking.
I think so, yes.
Okay. In that video that we saw, were you able to see his face?
No.
Do you know what Mr. Mew was doing in that 60 minutes between the time that you described him as shocked, stunned, rigid until that time?
What he was doing? No.
Do you know if at all his appearance changed?
I don't know. I couldn't see his face.
Do you know if it did change, when it changed?
No.
Do you know if it did change, why it changed?
I don't know.
You were then asked some questions about what you saw, this 23-second video. That's a different moment in time, agreed?
Yes.
And is that happen after the video where you see him in the water or before the video in the water?
Which video?
There was a video of Mr. Mew in the back of the squad car
Okay.
that was 23 seconds long.
Yes.
Do you know, did that take place before he was in the tube that we saw or after
That was
he was?
after.
And then that video, could you see his face?
Yes.
When you saw his face there, did you, having known this man, think that he looked like he was in some sort of distress?
It looked to me, yes.
That's all.
Mr. Anderson?
The reason you waited 20 minutes is because Eric Von Williams was helping with the people who were injured, right?
I didn't know he went down there.
And then when you eventually did leave, it was because Nikolai said, let's go, right?
He did not say, let's go.
He didn't?
I didn't hear it.
Nothing else.
Thank you, Ms. Torres. You may step down.
Thank you.
So that's about as much interesting testimony as I could squeeze out of the second half of day 6. It seems like the entire trial is just treading water right now. But I believe day 7 is the end of the testimony for the prosecution. And I know we're going to be going over Mew's interrogation video. And that's where we can see all his lying firsthand. So things should start getting interesting again. And then we have Mew's testimony. So just give me a little time and I'll have day 7 edited and ready to go. See you soon.
But I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed. Thank you. Fuck my ass.